What? Okay, you guys, I didn't even finish doing my makeup. I'm so excited to tell you guys this, teach you guys. I feel like I just got downloaded the whole answers to the whole universe. But we're gonna, okay, say this to yourself. From now on, I am a swan. Now, this is gonna sound dumb to your logical mind, but who cares? Who cares, right? We're here to win this life, not to be defeated, right? And so the other way you can say it is, I am a swan from now on. All right, I'm waiting for these cars to go. All right, and so let me teach you what I'm talking about. Look, I wrote it down. I am a swan from now on. I grabbed my notebook for us. It's so pretty today. We got to stay outside. As much as I wanted to sit in my car so I could show you all these notes. All right. Okay, so understand, this is how we think. My name's Dr. Cheryl Meyer. I'm a psychologist in my day job. I usually use art and music to, there was a song coming with this too, but a Swan song, right? No, to teach, because it goes beyond our defenses and it helps us understand this on higher levels, deeper levels. Look, I got no sleep because I was just, these truths were just going through my mind and I was so excited. I didn't even want to sleep. I'm not like manic or anything, so I did sleep, but all right, let's just sit down. Manic is when people go for a time without sleeping and they have pressured speech and stuff like that. I'm just talking a little fast so we can fit this in. I have about 15 minutes for us. If it goes over that, go over on my YouTube channel. That's where all my videos are. And I have all sorts of stuff for us there. Okay, so what happened was I was watching a video over the weekend and the video was talking about shame. It's talking about how, let me see how I wrote it down. I really want to get this for us. It says, shame is that feeling that I'm broken and there's something wrong with me, okay? And so I didn't even notice, because I'm always teaching about shame and I'm teaching my clients and all this stuff. Hold on. And so I didn't even notice that had snuck in again. Now, there's a guy named John Butler. He's really, really good. He's meditated for like the last 40 years. And so people that have that in them, you know, they really know how to keep staying on the truth and staying centered because they're not afraid of the silence. They're not afraid to get quiet. Now, he said we go in this world that we're in, right? It's normal, okay? It's normal because we forget that we're souls. That's why I have a video called Green Side Up. It's about some guy. They're yelling out the window, green side up, to keep remembering to lay the sod with the green side up. It's like we forget that we are souls. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, a physical experience. We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings. You're spirit. You're made out of consciousness of God, you know, of God. You're made in the image and likeness of God. And I welcome all religions, all right? So he was saying we're like yo-yos. We go up and down to different levels of consciousness. Now, the more you can get into this high level of consciousness where you're in your being self, right? Where you're this isness. Look, right, the wind picks up right when we're talking about that. Look at the trees. The wind is like, the word for wind is the same as the breath of God, is the same for spirit in Greek and in Hebrew, pneuma, wind. So God is like the breath that is in you, right? And so going back to that, it's like, who are you, but beyond your name, beyond your skin color, beyond even the religion you're naming yourself to be? Who are you? Who are you? What is your isness? Who is your isness? Are you these thoughts? Now, what happens is the more we go into a lower state of consciousness and get caught up in forms, all the forms around us, you know, and our name, and I know the song that was coming to me this morning, and that's so funny, because it was just like, I'm living like I'm 9 zeros even when I'm broke, you know. I ain't worried about it right now. I ain't worried about it, right? Because when you get in this higher state of consciousness, you know this level of being, and you're just like, it really doesn't matter. You're not escaping from reality. You're operating from a higher state of being. So you understand the richness of the divine love of God that you're always dwelling in. When Jesus says, he said to Philip, don't you know that I am in God and God is in me? And later he says, and I am in you and you are in me, right? And so how can we be in the Godness? How can we be in this divine love? How can we know this? Now let's go back to what I want to teach you guys about. I am a swan from now on. That came to me when I was meeting with my spiritual director. I'll just say this woman that's been working with me for a long time, that's been working under her own direction. I think she was under a Catholic nun for a long time. So it's not some weird New Age thing. But just accept everyone where they are. It doesn't mean we agree with everything. But there's the story of the ugly duckling, right? And so let's refresh ourselves a little bit. The ugly duckling is really a swan who the egg rolled down into the duckling nest, right? And the mama duck, all her little ducklings were breaking open out of their eggs. And this swan broke out, and they're just like, you're the ugliest duck I've ever seen. And I almost started crying last night because I was listening to C.S. Lewis's book, The Horse and His Boy, and I was noticing the same theme because it was already on my mind, where Shasta, he later goes by Cor, and his twin brother was Corin, they're twins, but Shasta had to escape as a little baby, and he was born as basically a slave, servant to this fisherman that he thought was his dad, and then he gets to escape and go to Narnia in the north, right, where he gets to be a free man. It's awesome. But he finds out, spoiler alert here, right? He finds out that he's really the son of a king, and he gets to be king next. He's actually firstborn. And so he's more than just a prince, he's going to be a king. But this whole time he got used to just being bullied and punched around and thought that he was just a servant boy and felt inadequate in these other ways and was like always trying to stick up for himself. But this is how the ugly duckling is, right? Is we take on this level of shame that we don't realize we're carrying around. If I keep thinking, because I experienced, or we're talking about you and me, I use myself as an example because it's free copyright, right? No one's gonna sue me for talking about their life, so I just use my life sometimes, but because I want to be transparent so you guys can learn these principles, right? And so here's this person that feels all the shame and feels unwanted and feels like there's something broken. And not only that is when we have parents that feel this shame, we can try to take on their shame to be a good boy or a good girl. We carry their shame on us, and we carry it on our body. I've lost a lot of weight, I lost a ton of sizes. I went from a size 12 to I'm wearing a size 4 right now. So however many sizes that is, right? Do the math. Because I was carrying other people's shame because I felt like they were carrying so much of it. They didn't know how to take it to God. They didn't know how to go back to their swan nature, to understanding that everyone is worth loving 100% of the time. You're 100% worth love 100% of the time, no matter what other people have treated you. But we learn to treat ourselves based on how other people treated us until we reprogram that. That's why I was saying, just keep repeating to yourself, I am a swan from now on. Understand that you were programmed. This is what we talk about when we say you were programmed, is you were programmed to think of yourself like your parents treated you and like your parents thought of themselves. Even if your parents try to treat you with a lot of respect and love and show up and whatever else, whatever insecurities they're carrying, we were just little children and it got imprinted on us, right? And so we feel like whatever ugly ducklingness that they felt, and we carry that for them because we want our parents to be able to show up and love us, and so we learn to carry that. And then we'll go try to date unavailable people who don't know how to love us either, because we're used to, there's the message again, you're not worth loving, you're worth shaming, you're not worth showing up for real. And then on top of that, right, you guys, don't worry, it's not all going to be bad, right? We're just understanding the foundation for this so you can let it go, because the truth will set you free. Knowing this new truth deep inside of you, right? Take like the heart, let it drop down. And Jesus says, take up your cross every day and die to your old self. Let that die. Let it die. He says, if Jesus is calling us to the highest love, he says, you must leave your father and mother. Let the dead bury their own dead. Let the people walking around in that deadness, thinking that they're the ugly ducklings, let them bury each other. You come and follow this highest love. But we have to be willing to die to do that, to come back into this oneness, right? Now, that's scary. And so what I was going to talk about, the other thing we do is, because we feel so low, because of the shame, we're way down here on that yo-yo thing, right? High consciousness, higher levels of consciousness, lower levels. We're identified with form. We feel all the pain. We think we are all these horrible thoughts. We think we are that old identity. We're attached to it. The more you are attached to that identity, the more suffering you're going to have. Then we go to addictions, whether it's addicted to unavailable people. And I'm not laughing about that. I'm just saying we, the people of us that can keep trying to please other people and please God and look religious and really try to be spiritual, and connected to God and have that relationship. We can be like, oh, those drunk people over there. But we're just as drunk in our own minds and our own addictions, trying to please people and let them walk on us, which is, Jesus says, you are the salt of the earth. And so when you let people walk on you, you are not being the salt of the earth. You're losing your saltiness. And then they start disrespecting you, and they start disrespecting themselves, because they're not going to respect themselves if they keep walking on someone, and they don't respect you because you're letting them walk on you. So we're not called to do that. We're not called, that was just 12:12 when I said that, but we're not called to go after scraps. Watch all my videos about no more scraps. SAS, stop accepting scraps. Instead of SOS, that's what kept coming to me, right? And so you see how we think, well, I'm the ugly duckling. I'm never going to be loved. I have to go keep trying to please this unavailable person because it's a repetition of my childhood. And if I keep repeating my childhood inside my own mind and my own heart, then I'm going to keep repeating it outside. I'm going to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And you're expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity, right? I hope you're following all this. Look, if you're not following it right now, watch this over and over again. There is no shame in watching this over and over again. Look at what I put in the description. Look at what I put in the description of my other videos. I have over 800, don't be overwhelmed, other videos on YouTube, because I'm teaching about these principles over and over again. Watch the one that was coming to me just now, or right before this, was the proposal one. Because in the proposal, I was talking about how I was seeing how God was like, no, I don't want you to work in my factory. I don't want you to please me, to be a pleaser. I love you. That's why I want to marry you. Because I was talking about the movie North and South, where Richard Armitage, who played Thorin Oakenshield in the Hobbit movie, he was the man in that proposing to the woman, and I was like, okay. Anyway, it's great. But I saw it mystically that divine love, God is wanting to give us that deep same love, right? If Jesus went to the cross to reconcile us to a perfect God, he it's like, if you think of it, he came to take all of the ugly ducklingness out of us and remind us, no, I created you. We created you as a swan, and you are a swan, and you always were one, and this world is walking around like they're ducks. Latoya Okia said they're walking around like chickens, you know what I mean? And you're like an eagle, and the chickens are pecking at each other and pecking on the ground, and they can't fly. They can only get a foot or two up, and you're meant to soar. We're all meant to soar. But if you don't live in your soul self and you don't let go of that old programming, then 95% of people stay in that old way of being. We just develop habits and thought patterns and emotional patterns where that emotional ickiness keeps filling us and reminding us what we are, but we're not that. And so once you start thinking differently and treating yourself differently, you actually have better emotional states. You have these expansive emotional states. And you can't go chasing after consolations. I mean, you could try, but you can't just try to go for spiritual highs, because that turns into another form of addiction. I mean, I don't recommend it. You can do whatever you want, but so what I'm saying here is understand your swan nature, right? I have another video called Essence of Personality. Watch that, because I think I go for about 45 minutes talking about who your true self is. And I'm just approximating too. These are, you know, you always can expand to your fuller experience of knowing divine love and being reconciled to love. And the more I heard this morning, this man was teaching and he said, you know, prayer is not about, let's go pray. It's about wanting more intimacy with God. So you set aside this time to be quiet so you can let go of the world's duck ideas, their chicken ideas about how to try to prove yourself by, you know, putting more money in your bank account or running after more makeup or, you know, getting more fake relationships, you know, that just last for a little bit. And so I wanted to talk to you still a little bit about shame is that feeling that I'm broken and something's wrong with me. And so then we find someone or some life circumstance or like an addiction, like I was saying, that will temporarily pull us out of that. You know, when I meet people that feel like they're in my soul group, I have this soul resonance. And it's just an incredible feeling. I can't even describe it. That's how it was with Elliot, you know, and with a couple other people that I've met. And it's like, you think that they're supposed to be with you forever, but I was taught, okay, I got this in a mystic vision, right? I was like, what is this about? And so I saw a butter churn. Okay, so think of a stick of butter. If all of us, let's say in heaven, are put in different butter churns, there's different batches of butter churns, and some of us resonate more highly with other people. So it's kind of like we came out of that same butter churn, although we're different sticks of butter here, you know. It looks like this. We all look like we're different, but we're all actually one. And so this is the mystic body of the saints. And there's lots of things I could talk about, but I'm not going to go into all of that. But I want to share with you guys just this one brief concept, because you can have like a soul knowing or that deja vu, or feel like you feel really close to someone. Now that doesn't mean they're a safe person for you to date or to be your best friend even, you know, or whatever. It means, you know, you have some kind of, now sometimes this can be trauma bonding. You guys shared the same kind of trauma in childhood and you just have this subconscious, unconscious knowing of that, and you have this automatic empathy for each other because you know the feeling so deeply of being this, feeling like this ugly duckling. You never were that, but you felt like you were. And so anyway, it's like you can go and keep diving into relationships and think, oh, this person loves me, right? And I love them, and all of a sudden you're pulled out of this shame. You've pulled out of that sense of I feel broken and I feel, you know, whatever. And this is what any high can do, okay? And so you're not meant to use other people or let them use you in relationships. And so, but that is a glimpse of the pattern of what it is to leave that sense of shame. You got a temporarily relief from the shame. So you thought it was that person. And that's why it's so hard sometimes to let go of that person, because you just want to go back to that oneness with love. But you always have access to this oneness with love, right? All my videos are talking about this oneness. If you think of Christ came to bring us back to that oneness, to teach us about that oneness, he says, you know, like, you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But if if I'm the light of the world and you're the light of the world, but I keep insisting I'm an ugly duckling, right? I'm ugly, I'm worth rejecting, I'm broken, there's something wrong with me. I don't want to blame the other person because then they'll reject me more. So I'll keep taking all the trash and blame myself, right? And it's like, all their shame, all the world's shame, and I'm carrying it, and then I have to eat more because I'm carrying the world's shame, and I want to feel a temporary relief from that shame. So food gives you a high, highs give you a high, whatever you're running to, TV, social media can give you a temporary high. Continuous posting on social media can give you a dopamine high, right? So I'm inviting you to get this high from developing a higher state of consciousness, from letting divine love forgive you, whether you understand it as through Christ or however you come on your journey. I respect that you are on your journey, so I'm not trying to convert people. I just know it this way. But I've been, this my whole life, but not known it on this level because I kept insisting and identifying with the ugly duckling. But now it's like, no, I'm a swan from now on. And you are a swan from now on. I am. You're stating your isness. I am connected to divine love. I am one with God. I am, oh look, I was in the dark and now I'm in the light again. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, I love it when I can lay down here and set my phone down. And so let me read what I was saying is like, if we don't change our identity and our understanding of our identity, then we'll keep experiencing bosses that go, oh no, you're an ugly duckling. And then it will just keep confirming that because it's a familiar feeling for us. So we're not doing it on purpose. And because we feel like such an ugly duckling, right? And not the swan, we're like, oh, I might as well just use these drugs or use food or run away into social media or create this false persona, this false identity. We do all of these things because we're trying to run away from that icky shame feeling. But if you let go of that identity because it's not your true identity, because someone came to redeem you from that, the divine, you're made out of the creator and God is love. You're made out of love. That's where we came from, right? And so I saw that we can be so mad at those people that abandon us, right, for their addictions. But we are just as addicted to the same shame that they are as well, but we're not here to heal them, right? They can do their own work. And we're waiting for scraps from them. And so that's what I put over here. That's 2, 3 is because for a moment, hold on, let me get this. Wow, you guys, you know what just flew away is all these this is the best thing. Look, I started singing when I was running over there. From addictive to enlightened relationships. You can go from addicted to enlightened relationships. I have a whole year-long class on that. So, right, that's on the power of now, awakening your intuition. I already have that out there. 49 one-hour videos if you're interested. The link's always in my bio, but I was like, might as well face it, you're addicted to love. Just face it and then stop being addicted, because addictions don't get us anywhere. They just give us temporary highs, more shame, and we go in that cycle and over again, and we don't get equipped in our lives to actually live as our swan self. You're meant to live as your swan self, right? And so I said, because for a moment we loved them, and there was real love, I think, in that. But we thought we loved them, and we felt loved again. Like I said, we were pulled outside of. I already said this is great. But when they left us and went back to their addictions, we thought we'd never be loved again, because that was what we experienced in childhood. We kept experiencing the ugly duckling and not the swan part, right? Go watch that cartoon, or read the book. It's free online about the ugly duckling and the swan. It will help you get this concept and keep seeing yourself as the swan. And when you see that, then you'll keep having this idea, this truth that good things are coming my way. Good things are coming my way. And I said, you don't let go because you're holding on to a meaning. Oh, I wrote this down from someone else's video. a meaning. I remember him saying it, this guy, that you are attached to, and you think that if you let go of that person, you'll lose that meaning forever, but you don't. That meaning was always in you. I already said all of these things, right? Oh, and this one other thing that this guy named Cart Johnson, that I got some coaching from, he said, start choosing to cast doubts on your doubts. And so, like, what if I don't have to carry my dad's shame anymore? What if I can forgive my parents? I can forgive these people that abandoned me for what looked like some stupid addiction, you know? And I was like, I'm worth more than that, you know? What if I can let go of this old identity and this old feeling like I'm broken and something's wrong with me? What if I can be close to God? What if I can know the isness and love of divine love? What if I can get out of this dark hole that I've been in for so long? What if I can let go of addictions? What if I can stop running away? What if I can be in the silence and be courageous? All right, I got to take my kids to school. I wish you guys so much love. Thanks for being here.